start with Ireland. A €12 billion plus book on its 10-year bond issue has raised the size of that issue to €5 billion. Pretty strong demand all round. Is that justified?
I think if you, from a sort of liquidity-driven perspective, people quite like the Irish credit. They look through the weaknesses and see, it's an open, export-driven economy, and they like that. And the fact, obviously, quite a significant pickup over the core, but we still see it as yield convergence of the wrong kind. And Ireland, for example, its debt is still expected to reach, I think, nearly 123% of GDP this year. So yep. I think these are yields that aren't justified on a fundamental basis.
And also the banking system remains extremely fragile. Unemployment is nudging up towards 15%.
Yeah, exactly. And you've also, as you say, the mortgage sector very weak banking sector, and despite the restructure around the promissory notes, which is obviously a positive, I think the people look through all the negatives and choose just to pick out the positive bits, which are, it seems to be quite easy to implement reforms there. The population is relatively sort of willing to undergo these reforms, and it's obviously always known as having this open economy.
And as we're talking about, the demand for today's issue is extremely strong. It's the first step back towards full market access for Dublin. I suppose the question is then, would Ireland actually need an OMT from the ECB?
Well, I think the first thing is that the ECB has no intent. At the moment, the OMT is all things to all men, in that very little is prescribed about it. And I don't think that the ECB would have any intention, or did ever have any intention, of using the OMT for Ireland. It's there for Spain and Italy. So that's on the one hand. On the other hand, yeah, with regards to Ireland, with that €5 billion today, it's nearly completed what it was targeted to raise, which is €10 billion in medium and long term for 2013. And in addition, if you looked at where the yields are, you think, well, where would the OMT take them to? So no, I can't see the OMT being used for Ireland, both from the ECB's perspective and from Ireland's own perspective.